Let's talk about it. Come on and shout it. I talk, you talk, we talk. Women talk life. It ain't no surprise. Baby, you could see if you would open up your eyes. You won't understand if you can't open up your mind. So let's stop wasting time when women talk live.
And welcome to another episode of Women's Talk Live. I'm your girl, April J.
I'm your girl, SassyScribe.
Hey, KL, hopefully she'll join us. She's booked
On the
and busy.
grind. Booked and busy.
Booked and busy. But today we're going to be talking about male loneliness epidemic. And I think this was interesting when I was going through the show notes. I was like, this is very, very interesting. So, but before we get into that, I want to delve into our history facts. It's been we've been had some interesting history facts. So, first one is, have you ever been curious about gas prices ending in ninth of a tenth? Here's why. This fraction dates back to the Great Depression. In 1932, the U.S. government passed a revenue act adding the first federal gas tax. Just 1 cent per gallon, but when gas costs around 20 cents, that penny was a big deal, mounting to 10% hike. So, to soften the blow, gas station owners started raising the prices by a fraction of a cent instead of a full penny. So by the 1950s, the marketing habit, much charging $1.99 instead of $2 because drivers focused on the first number they saw. So all they see is the one. They don't see really the 99 cents.
99 cents.
Yeah, right. So even though the ninth of a tenth of a cent adds up to millions in gas retails, it's still not required by law. So in fact, Iowa briefly banned the fraction gas prices in the 1980s, but repealed it. And nearly a century later, the tradition survives every time you fill up at the gas tank.
Wow. I never really paid attention to that.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, when people are selling things, they'll put $19.99 instead of 20 because
Or 7. Odd numbers.
Right.
Odd numbers work. 5,
Exactly.
7, 9, 3. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all people focused on. So I thought it was interesting.
And
All
in
right.
my mind, it's like 99 cents is $1.
Right.
You know, so I'm like, $1.99 is $2 to me.
Yeah. Or
So
99 cents, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where that came from. All right. So the real story behind Pocahontas and Captain James Smith. So most people know
John Smith,
Pocahontas.
right?
Huh?
Was it John Smith?
Captain John Smith. Yep.
Okay.
So, legendary stars cross paths who, she was Native American, he was European.
She was exotic.
Yes, she was exotic. But
She
Smith
was exotic.
arrived in Virginia in 1607 when he was 27 years old as a soldier and explorer. Pocahontas was the daughter of Chief Pocahontas, and she was about 11. So after Smith was captured by Pocahontas people and later released, Pocahontas came known as a lively, intelligent child who helped foster communication between the English settlers and her tribe. But the two went their separate ways after 1906. 1609, when tensions rose between the colonists and the Pocahontas. Years later, Pocahontas was captured by another English captain, converted to Christianity, took the name of Rebecca, married a tobacco farmer by a name of John Roth, not Smith. She died in England at about 21, never returning home. And as for John Smith, most historians believe his accounts were exaggerated after the fact, and the romantic legend of Pocahontas and Smith was more of a myth than history. But it built over centuries in storytelling and imagination.
So he lied. He never got that exotic coochie he
He
wanted to get.
never, no, he
Mr.
did.
Roth got it.
Yes.
Mr. Roth got it. Mr.
Yes.
Roth got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That tracks for the colonizers to lie, though. I
Yeah.
mean,
Right. It was more
we
of
see
a
it.
fictional whatever. So, all
A
right.
man's ego, which
Yeah.
falls into this topic perfectly.
Yes, exactly. All right. Last history fact: the rise and fall of the waterbed. Everybody knows the waterbed kind of made its appearance in the 1970s and 80s. It was patented in California in the late 60s. The idea was actually surfaced early in science fiction. Writer Robert Hemlin and imagined a liquid-filled bed decades before they hit the bedrooms, and it was marketed as a chic, sexy, space-age waterbed that promised warmth, motion, and customized your sleep experience. And they became popular in 1987. Nearly 1 in 5 mattresses sold in America was the waterbed. There were ads that tease that two things are better on a waterbed. One of them was sleep. You can imagine what the other one was.
I actually, my high school sweetheart actually had a waterbed.
Oh,
And when I
really?
say it was the most uncomfortable,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially for people who move a lot, it's
Right.
not.
It's
It's
not. It's
not.
not.
It's not
It's
good.
not.
It's not.
Yeah.
And you got to have really good rhythm for that whole other thing that
Yeah,
they talking about
exactly.
doing. It
Exactly.
was just
Yeah, so
not worth it.
right. So the dream slowly deflated.
Of
Waterbeds
course.
were heavy, high maintenance, and prone to leak, making them a
Hmm.
nightmare to move. So
Yep.
today, they're mostly drifted into nostalgia. Remember as one of the, big trends in sleep history that just died.
Like,
Yeah, so those are your history facts for today.
okay.
All right, so let's get into our topic, male loneliness epidemic. So,
Yeah.
what's that about?
So what it this whole mindset of this whole male loneliness epidemic became it came from in the group chat when I sent you guys floated the topic to you guys. I
Mm,
sent this meme and I'm going to read it. It
okay.
says men are facing a male loneliness epidemic. But have you noticed the irony? The blame is still shifted to women. Quote, women are too independent, unquote. Quote, women are too picky, unquote. Quote, women don't want men anymore, unquote.
Mm,
Women aren't rejecting men, they're rejecting emotional absence. Listen to this, fellas. We're rejecting the bare minimum. Men aren't alone because we changed. Men are alone because you guys refuse to.
mm,
So that's what made me think about, maybe this is something that we should discuss. Maybe this is something we can talk on. So,
mm,
of course, I did my research.
mm,
And it says the male loneliness epidemic refers to a perceived and statistically significant increase in loneliness among men, marked by a decline in your friendships and social support. So we'll bring it to if you go to any church, black or white, you will see a lot of single because they want to focus on black women being single, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of white women, a lot of Asian women, a lot of Hispanic women that are out here that are single
Mm-hmm.
because of what I just said. That you want to give us the bare minimum, and you, which will come, you don't have the emotional capacity. You're not emotionally intelligent. You're not
Right.
emotionally aware of how you're treating us, and it's getting to the point where we'd rather be alone than to deal with what's going on with you guys. And
Right.
we have the infrastructure of family and friends, and you guys do not, right? So it says the other factors contributing to that includes the societal pressure for you guys not to share your emotions, for you guys to not be vulnerable and not really be open and honest about what it is that you need, which again, it hinders your emotional expression. Um, and they said you have a friendship recession. I like the way they put that,
Mm.
where men have fewer close friends. I mean, I think some men have more of a relationship with their barber than they do
Yeah.
than they do other people. And then there
Yeah.
was another statistic says that 16% of women report high levels of loneliness. Right, so I'm not saying it's just women, I'm just men, but we don't have that mindset of you guys. Like I said, we have that social and familial infrastructure where if we go through a crisis, we have people to help us. If you guys go through a crisis, you really don't have anyone to help you. And I'm like, again, if you don't believe me, go to any nursing home
Yeah.
and you'll see that difference. You, April has a very, very good friend that owns assisted living facilities.
Right.
You can see it. I mean, we don't
Yeah.
need to do, we don't need to do like a lot of these. I guess we need to do studies, but you can see it with your own eyes. So the other one
Yeah.
says in 2025, because I don't want anybody coming to us saying we're pulling this stuff out of our hat. This is a Pew Research Center study in 2025, said that about 16% of US adults, men and women, say they feel lonely or isolated all or most of the time. In that survey, men and women reported similar levels of often being lonely. For younger men, and this is where we're finding a lot of this, the red pill society, the broadcasters
Mm.
that are telling men that that women need to bring something to the table. It
Mm.
says a 2023 to 2024 global poll by Gallup found that 25% of men aged 15 to 34 said they felt lonely a lot of the previous day, compared with 18% of women in the same age group.
Yeah.
So if you have women ages, what is it, 15 to 34, if a 15-year-old girl has more of an infrastructure than a 15-year-old boy, then there's something in the water that we
Yeah.
need to look at
Right.
and touch on and discuss. And it
Yeah.
didn't say black, white, Asian, Hispanic. It's
Right.
men
Yeah.
across the board.
But a lot of times, I think loneliness doesn't also equate to being single, because you can be in a marriage and be lonely. Um, uh, I mean, I went through that in a period where, I just felt like I was alone, even though I was married. And sometimes people even will say they can be in a room full of people or be surrounded by people and still feel alone, because you just feel like you're not getting support from people who are around you.
Mhm.
Um, and it's interesting you say younger, because my two daughters, like my oldest daughter, she had two really close friends in school. They had a falling out, and my oldest really doesn't. She's not very sociable. So, I don't feel like she has that close relationship with other friends
Her age.
her age, versus my youngest daughter, who is very sociable. And she has a best friend she talks to 20 times a day, but she has friends. So it's like, but she has that personality where she, she makes friends.
Mm-hmm.
And but even like with me, I'll talk to my best friend about it, but there are things that I don't discuss with anybody. Um and it's not because of not feeling like I won't have that support. It's just I'm just not in a position or ready to share.
Right.
And I may not be ever. I don't know. But I think it's all into how you perceive things. But
Mm-hmm.
it is a thing now where people are single, people are alone, and I think in essence women are in a mindset where they feel like they can change men, and men are in the mindset that women should be who they
We
figure in their
want them to
mind
be.
as an ideal woman.
Mm-hmm.
And except I think we're in this thing where we won't accept each other where they are. Not I'm saying you should take bullshit. I'm not saying that. But in the same sense, if I'm the type of person that I am, and that's who I am, and that's who you liked when you met me, why you want to sit and try to change me? If I want to make changes, allow me to make those changes. But I think we are just so in this mindset. We have this fantasy person in our head, and some of the things are not realistic.
No. I think that the perfect thing that you just said is we're not accepting people as who they are. We want them to be, as opposed, what is it?
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to change the person. You're not accepting them for where they are right now in
Yeah,
their life.
right.
And a lot of people don't understand that. And they look at and I've been seeing this a lot on social media, like there she go, there she is single, but living with a bunch of cats. The majority, and I said this last night, I was out with my family, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the people in my family on both sides, my mom's side and my dad's side, a lot of them are married. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that I notice about their relationships, not saying they don't have their shit. I'm not going to sit here and say that. I'm on the outside looking in. So I,
Mm-hmm.
I know if they're married or in a long term relationship, shit happens because I've been
Yeah,
there,
right,
right?
right.
Shit happens. But you can see not only the genuine love that they have for them, but you can see they like the person that they're with. And I know
Mm-hmm.
so many people in long term relationships and in marriages that are just like April said earlier, just miserable. They feel
Mm-hmm.
stuck and stagnant with no way out.
Right,
And I
right.
think a lot of people, and let's just be real honest, a lot of people have these check boxes. So I got graduate college, do my undergrad, get this job, do this career path, start
Mm-hmm.
having a family, buy this home. They have this checklist of everything that they think they should have
Right.
based on the societal construct,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
as
that's
opposed
true.
as opposed to what's happening
That's
in
true.
your life right now.
Yeah, that's true. I I
It's
I
extremely.
was
I know women that got pregnant because shit. I remember one year I must have went to like 10 baby showers because she got pregnant, then she got pregnant because she got pregnant. So I feel like I need to get pregnant.
yeah,
And
I
like,
yeah, I mean me, I was one of those ones where okay, I had said, okay, I'm going as soon as I leave high school. I moved out when I was 19, working. I worked full time, went to school full time because I was just like, okay, yeah, I'm going to school because I want to do this. And once
mhm.
I finish school, then I'm going back and get my master's degrees because I want to do this and I want to do this and this. And all of a
Life
sudden,
happens.
life happened.
Life
And
happens.
here I have a daughter at 25. So I had a daughter and got married at 25. And for me, it was like I was just like, oh, like it put a wrench into what
And
it
your
was I wanted
plan.
to do. Yeah. So I mean, I had no intentions. Had no intentions on getting married. Let's be real. No intentions at all. I mean, I didn't even kids were the farthest thing from my mind. But when I did get pregnant with my daughter, then I was just like, oh, okay, you know what? Yeah, I this is something else. And I love being a mom, still love being a mom.
Right.
But I had to adjust based on my situation. I was determined I was going to finish school because
Mm-hmm.
that was a promise I had made to my grandmother before she died. I was
Mm-hmm.
determined I was going to do that and did all of that. But now I was still working full times, I was working full time, going to school part time, and was a mother of a young baby and a big kid for a husband. So I mean, so now it was like, shit happens. I get that.
Right.
But I had to learn to adjust. And I think we have in our mind that if something happened, oh shit, it's over. It's done. But it isn't. And you can kind of
You can pivot. It's called a
yes,
pivot. And we
yes,
all had
exactly.
to. I've pivoted so many times in my life. I mean, I've done a lot of pivoting. Again, if we go back to talking about the men being lonely, we're
Mm-hmm.
only looking at like the younger men. But there's also a study that the AARP did
Mm-hmm.
this year that focused on men 45 and older and said
Right.
that there are, what is it? Let me get the right thing. Found that 40% of these people that they studied reported loneliness.
Yeah.
Men.
Right.
And I remember saying on my show, Situations with Sassy, I've said it 1,000 times. Men are just as lonely as women. It's just that women are okay saying that they're lonely.
Right.
And men saying that they're lonely as a weakness, as a
Yeah.
simp,
But
as
they
it
doing
doesn't
it.
make them a man. So they lash out at at the women, they lash out at the women. So,
Yeah.
and then it also reported that it said in that same survey, men reported higher loneliness than women, 42% versus 37%, reversing all of the years prior in the gender disparity. So
Wow. Yeah,
it's
because my daughter, she works in a future care facility,
mm-hmm,
and she does dialysis for patients, and
mm-hmm,
um she was telling my mother and I about a couple of her patients, and she said there was this one male who gets dialysis, and she said he every morning, she'll come and get him, and he looks forward to her coming. He's an older guy,
mm-hmm,
and she said he'll go and get this dialysis. Now, granted, dialysis takes like 3 hours. I had no
mm-hmm.
clue,
Yeah,
but she
three to
said
four hours. Yeah.
she said he never goes the full three. He always just gets up and said, "I'm ready to go back to my room." But she said he will order, I guess, from Dunkin' Donuts, like 4 breakfast sandwiches and a coffee. And every morning, she said he orders her a sandwich.
Yeah.
And that's his way of thanking her for, being kind, because, with my daughter, like for her, like she's not like some folks where they treat older people or patients, she said just his
She
way
respects
of,
her
yeah,
elders.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So he does that for her every morning as a, just a way of just of his way of thanking her for taking the time, because she said, she'll talk to him in the morning, ask him how, and she'll bring him back to his room, help him in his bed, will turn TV, whatever, ask him if he's okay before she leaves. So he'll make sure that his breakfast is ordered. So by the time he comes back, he can give her sandwich. And she tells him, she said, "You don't have to do it." He was like, "No, no, 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 no." He said, "Because I don't have nobody."
See?
And so for me, I tell my daughter, I was just like, that's a gift to have, where people, like older people, give her stuff all the time. I mean, she came home with a 6-pack of Dr. Peppers. I don't even drink Dr. But they give her things, and it's just their way of, because she said, I told her, I said, "Well, do people come?" She said, "I don't see really some of these folks get visitors." She said, "So I don't know." So for her, it's like, a compassion because
Hmm.
she knows that they don't have. So but it was interesting when you said that, because yeah, you do have older people, older men,
Hmm.
who feel like they don't, like they're really alone in this world. So when somebody actually shows them some type of compassion or something, they may not say that they're lonely and they may not express
No.
it, but they do express it in other ways.
Hmm.
So,
That's his way of showing that appreciation because,
right.
and I remember we should really try really hard to get him on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Dondre T. Whitfield, I love him. Everything he says, every commentary that he gives is so focused and on point. And his statement on a man looks to be of service and a male looks to be served.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a lot of males that are looking to be served. And if you
Mm-hmm.
ask a man, these men are talking about the things that they want with a woman that I attribute to them being lonely is because if a woman is doing everything in her daily life without you, she
Right.
wants you to come into it and add, not
Yeah.
subtract to that.
Exactly.
Not. And
Exactly.
another survey, and to that point, this man has no, like you were saying, that man's no one that really is visiting him. The survey says that 15 to 25% of men say they have no close friends,
Hmm.
and their social circles shrink after college and even further after entering the workforce or a
Mm-hmm.
long-term relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So men seek less emotional support. They are less likely to talk about their feelings. They're less likely to seek therapy. And y'all know, you know who I'm talking to. Less likely
Mm-hmm.
to seek therapy,
Yeah.
and they're socially conditioned to tough it out, and that
Right.
is so true. And I have a friend right now, and I tell him, I'm like, the road you have is like it's a marathon. It's not a race,
Yeah. Right.
and you can't do it alone.
Yeah.
You have to get some form of therapy. I go to
Yeah.
therapy.
Right. Yeah.
And I think in our community, therapy is such a four-letter word
It
to a
is. It
lot of
is.
people in our
It
community.
is.
Like,
And
and
it's
you can't go to the church like you could back in the day.
right. That's
The,
true.
the, the church isn't the same. You can't
Yeah.
go to your church because your business will be all out in them streets
Yeah.
when you do. So,
Yeah.
and
People.
and those statistics that I just said, it leads to higher emotional isolation, to that feeling of you don't need anyone, you can do it on your own.
Mm-hmm.
You have difficulty in forming intimate relationships. You can have sex with anybody, but you're not being fully intimate with them. There's a
Mm-hmm.
difference. And then the dependency on a partner for all emotional needs, which can overwhelm the relationship. So,
Yeah. I think a lot of times too is that men were brought up to be that provider, that protector, that whatever.
the planner.
Yeah, plan. And a friend of mine, he said to me one time, if something was to ever happen, I don't know who I would have to even pick up the phone and call. He was like, I just,
Wow.
and then, and I'm thinking, it's not that he doesn't have friends. He has friends that he's been friends with for, years and years and whatever. But he was just thinking, like, if I was ever in trouble, I don't really know who I would really call. And I think a lot of times, like, he shares a lot of things with me, and vice versa. So, it's, and for someone of his stature, that's not something he does
So
at
he's
all.
basically saying that he doesn't have anyone that would show up for him. And I think
Mm-hmm.
when you're in a relationship or you're dating or even your friendships, I know who would show up for me in my family and in my friends.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in relationships, I knew who I could call in a crisis when I was in that relationship. And like, I can't call you, I gotta stop fooling with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if my tire is flat and I call you and you was like, well, what you expect me to do?
Right.
bet I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Right.
So I think having people show up, really
Mhm.
show up, is
Mhm.
really and truly, really and truly
Yeah,
important. And
that's true.
I don't think some men, I'm not going to say all, I don't
Mhm.
think some men give themselves the grace of allowing people to come into their life to show up for them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So,
Yeah, it is hard. I mean, even so, I mean, I know what family members would show up. I mean, had I was, had folks did show up for me.
mhm.
And and to this day, I appreciate that, because I think you find out really who your friends really are when you are in a crisis, when you
Mhm.
are really need someone. That's when you find out who's actually there for you, and who is just there to either just be
Taking up
there,
space.
yeah, or just waiting for a downfall. So I mean, either
Mhm.
way, it's like, I think we, and then even in this society, I say, with social media and now the rise of AI,
Oh,
people are finding connections in technology, which is something even more scary. I mean,
mm.
like we discussed uh previous shows, with AI, I think that's going to probably lead to a lot more people being alone, because
I
they'll
mean,
have these.
aren't they working on emotional available robots for people to,
They're
like that
doing that with
movie that's
AI.
called Companion?
They're
They're
doing
doing
that
it
with
with AI.
AI. So you
Hmm.
have, like, it's like, your people are, like I said before, make these fictitious people in their mind, and now they can do it with this AI. They can do it, and it's gonna cause people not to be have that connection with another human. And it's just, I
People
don't know.
don't even know how to have. They don't even know how to have conversations anymore.
Yeah.
Like there's no more conversations. It's, if you talk to somebody, somebody can be very verbose
Hmm.
and articulate in a text, and then you get them in person, it's like all monosyllables. Yes, no, I don't know, maybe, sure, why not. It's, have a, talk to me. You talk to me more through text than you do in person. Talk to
Yeah.
me, because
Right.
I'm not going to continue engaging with you if
Right.
you're not going to have a full face-to-face or phone conversation so I can get the inflections in your voice. So I
Hmm.
think you're right. AI, social media has really screwed things up a lot, and has
Yeah.
got people believing that they're better, that they're okay being alone. I'm not okay being alone.
Yeah.
But the but is, you can't come over here and create chaos. I'm just not going to have it. It's
Yeah.
not
Exactly.
chaotic and it's not dramatic.
Right.
It's just not.
Yeah.
And when I put shit down, is where I put it at.
Mhm. Right. Exactly.
You know, like,
All right.
oh,
So last week's poll, we talked about Department of Education downgrading these professional degrees, or just completely eliminating them, and as professionals. So we asked last week, should you be expected to pay for your professional degree? So 63% said it's not worth the cost.
no.
Not worth it. So go figure.
They didn't
Um,
lie.
yeah. So this week's poll, just kind of talking about this epidemic. It's has the rise of social media and AI contribute to loneliness in our society?
Oof.
Um, so yeah, we'll see. Like I said, it's sad the way people depend on social media and
Yes.
AI. Now
Social
AI
media is their friend,
is their
it's their
crutch.
confidant, it's their
Hmm.
crutch. Because when I'm in a crisis, I'm gonna be really honest with you guys. When I'm in a crisis and shit is happening, the last place thing I do is pick my phone up and go live to share it with the world.
Yeah, yeah, I
We
am.
don't give a shit. And then you're only giving us half the story.
Hmm.
If you're gonna come to social media and say the shit, I want to hear the whole motherfucking thing from
Right.
beginning to end and your part in it.
Yeah. Right. True. All right. So,
Ooh.
our final thought for today. Just because I'm single doesn't mean I sleep alone. I share the other half of the bed with 2 remotes, a laptop, and reading glasses. The ultimate threesome.
And a stylist for me. A stylist.
Yeah. I think we all as singles know that.
Yes,
Been
indeed. And
there.
for some, it's their dog or cat.
Yeah. No, not my dog. No, thank you. All right, y'all. This is What is Talk Live with your girl, April J.
I'm your girl, Sassy Scribe.
And for KL, who's out, booked and busy, we'll see
She
y'all
says,
next. Yeah, see y'all next time.
Women talk live.